Well, hello there, my fellow rushers. How are you doing today? King Rexy here, and today we're continuing on with yet another epic 1v1s in Kingdom Rush Vengeance. Now, if you're noticing a different music in the background, that's because I'm using my mod, so try to not pay too much attention to it. Now, for the 1v1, which are gonna be our contestants for today? They are gonna be two heroes. Yep, this time we're getting heroes in the bag. And the showdown is gonna be between Jigou versus Grosh. Two really strong and powerful champions that have incredible 1v1 properties. But the question is, who is the superior 1v1 champion? Is it the Yeti or is it the Mammoth? Well, let's find out. But firstly, in case you're new, the battle is separated into several rounds. Now, this time around, however, we have heroes. So the rounds are gonna be a little bit more different than usual. So, the first round is gonna be starting off with both of our fighters with a little bit of distance in between each other, and they can use their ultimate ability only once. Only once during the whole battle. And, well, the rest of their abilities are obviously available. In the second fight, it's gonna be roughly the same, however, the ultimate ability is gonna be disabled. In the third fight, they're gonna be starting off straight up in melee, and in the last one, they're gonna be using one of their basic abilities. However, the passive ability will be included, because why not? Now, if you know what? Screw it. The passives might end up changing the results quite a bit, so because of that, what we're gonna do is pretty simple. We're gonna add an additional fifth round in case there is a tie, where the fight is gonna be pretty much the same as the fourth one. However, the passive ability is gonna be excluded. I know, a little complicated, but that's just how it is. We wanna have specific results, all right? And in order for that, we need to make as many battle scenarios as possible. Anyway, now let's go back to discussing the stats of our contestants. Alright, so let's talk about Jigou first of all. As you can see, he has whopping 900 health, which is one of the highest amounts ever seen in Kingdom Rush. Like, there's barely any hero that has 900 health or over 900 health. So that is quite an impressive number to see. And he also has 24% armor to help him out, which is quite nice. As far as damage is considered, he deals between 67 to 102 physical damage. However, his attack rate is pretty slow at 2 seconds. And contradictory to a popular belief, no, his basic attacks do not deal area damage. Although it would have been nice if they could. And yeah, those are the base stats. I'm not going to be mentioning the health regeneration, mostly because, well, in order for the health regeneration to proc, both fighters have to be out of combat, so that's probably not going to happen. Now, for his abilities. First of all, his passive, or innate ability as some people call it. He restores 60 health every 0.2 seconds, constantly. So he has a pretty decent sustain going for him. So will that be enough? I don't know, but it's definitely gonna help him out. Then he also has the snowball, which has 10 seconds cooldown, and whenever he flings it, the ball deals between 158 to 193 physical damage. Which is not bad. Like, that's a decent amount of damage there. Then we also have the frozen breath, which immobilizes enemies for 3 seconds. So that's gonna be helpful. Maybe he's gonna be able to get another snowball in before he engages in melee combat. We'll see about that. And then there's his most interesting ability, which is gonna be very OP in the 1v1, the glacial form. After he drops below 30% health, he becomes immune to all damage for a long time. Like, we're talking 9 seconds. 9 seconds is a very long time. And during that time, his passive is still running, so he's gonna be regenerating a lot of health by that time. So that's gonna be nice. And last but certainly not the least, there's also his ultimate, which does 260 damage, which is, by the way, again, physical damage, which isn't all that much, but still, it's okay. And it also slows down the enemy by 60%. That's nice. And if you're wondering why I'm not mentioning the Earth Slam or the Ground Slam, well, I'm mixing up both names because the Doom Tank had an ability like this. The Doom Tank's ability and Jigou's ability have similar names, so occasionally I might mix and match them, so sorry for that. But yeah, the Earth Slam, unfortunately, it requires multiple units to be in range for it to proc. So Jigou is going to be at a little disadvantage during this fight. So that kind of sucks. But it is what it is. He still has pretty good stats. But how does Grosh compare to Jigou? Well, let's take a look. So he has 744 HP, which is, pretty good. And he also has 24% armor. Interesting. So they have basically the same armor. But Grosh has a little bit less health. Well, for now that is. As you can see, his damage is quite a bit lower at 41 to 62. But he does have a 1.5 seconds attack speed rate. So his damage is lower, but at least he's gonna be able to get maybe an extra couple basic attacks. So I don't know. The attack speed could be useful. That's what I'm gonna say. Now, as you can see, there are multiple stats for his health and damage. That's because of his passive. Basically, whenever Grosh is alone, which he's gonna be alone, he gets increased HP and damage. So, with his passive on, he has whopping 944 HP, and his damage gets increased all the way up to 53 to 80, which is quite high. I mean, those are some pretty juicy numbers right there. So he has a little bit more health than Jigou, but in terms of like damage output, I think his damage is slightly weaker than Jigou. But that's about it. Now let's take a look at the more interesting part, the rest of his abilities. We have Ancestral Force, which is gonna be probably his second best ability during this fight. It deals 320 physical damage, and it stuns the enemy for 2 seconds. Now, this thing is gonna be quite nice, because not only is it gonna take away a huge chunk of Jigou's health, it's also going to stun him, so he's not gonna be able to fight back for a little bit. Then, we also have his Frenzy. Whenever he drops below 20% health, he becomes immune to all damage. He gets a significant attack speed increase. His attack speed goes all the way down to 0.75 seconds, and he stays in that state for 8 seconds. So this is gonna be a pretty strong ability, and it might end up determining whether or not Jigou is gonna lose, because if he procs this ability at the right time, Grosh is definitely gonna beat the crap out of Jigou. Then we also have his AoE attack. After every third attack, he deals his next basic attack deals area damage, and deals it's weird because the way Grosh's AoE attack works is weird, because it deals the same damage as his melee attack, but it adds a certain amount. So in this case, how do I put it? Let's say his AoE attack is gonna deal between 53 to 80 damage plus 75. So yeah, that's kind of how the thing works. It's a little odd, but that's how it is. It's weird. All right, let's just leave it at that. And lastly, we also have his ultimate ability, which deals measly 80 damage, which it really isn't all that much. Like 80 damage is pretty insignificant. However, it does stun for 3 seconds. So maybe that's gonna be helpful. We'll see about that. And yeah, if you're wondering why his death ability isn't included, well, because after he dies, he's pretty much loses, so he's not gonna have a lot of time left to, let his Mammoth Legacy ability do anything. So yeah, these are the stats of our contestants. Now, who is gonna be stronger is the question. Well, let's get into the rounds and find out. So yeah, that was quite impressive actually. Grosh pulled it off, barely. Like damn. I know Grosh was pretty strong in the vanilla version, but I wasn't expecting him to be that strong. Like damn. Okay, well turns out Jigou isn't as good of a 1v1 champion as we thought. Turns out Grosh is better. Honestly, I think Jigou might have stood a chance if he procced his glacial form, or icy glue form, whatever it was called, when Grosh used his frenzy ability. If that happened, maybe Jigou would have stood a chance, and he would have had a higher chance of succeeding, but unfortunately that didn't happen, so F in the chat for Jigou, and big W for Grosh, for pulling off the victory. So yeah, if you want to see more 1v1 battles in Kingdom Rush Vengeance, just let me know down into the comments and I'll try to make as many as possible. So, with that out of the way, that's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you everybody so much for watching, I appreciate you for sticking around to the end. Subscribe if you want to see more of this content in the future, and while you're at it, drop a like on the video, it means a lot to me. And I will see you in the next video. Until it comes, that was King Rexy, over and out.